Yo, what is up, y'all? Dubsmind here for a game preview of the Warriors against the Magic. Another early start game today. So this game is going to start at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So much earlier start. Again, it's not a road trip, so it's at Orlando. Matchup predictor, pretty standard matchup predictor. Pretty much 50-50, so no real complaints or anything like that. And it makes sense, like both teams are around that same level. But they are looking pretty thin here. So let's just start off with the Warriors. So Buddy Hield's out. He is probable though, but he is out right now. It is an illness. And then we got JK, who's still out with his ankle knee thing, and he's still out for the Magic game. And then the D'Anthony Melton is still not super close. So yeah, we're still waiting on him, so that is what it is. So the only thing that's new is Buddy Hield. Jalen Suggs, he participated in morning walkthroughs, so he probably should play. He's listed as questionable, but game time call. If he doesn't play, obviously that's a good defender that they have that they're not going to be able to get playing. Mo Wagner's out for a long time without a timetable for a return. And Paulo's still out with his injury, so longer beyond Tuesday, which is today. For now, consider him highly questionable for Thursday's game against the Clippers. He hasn't played in about a week, so he's probably going to be out for a while. Apparently it is day-to-day, but I doubt that that's actually the case in terms of, like, he's actually, like, super, super close to playing. So I'm going to assume all three of these guys are not playing based on all these indicators. I guess maybe Jalen Suggs might play. There's a better chance that he will play than the other players. And yeah, that's going to be it for the injury report. So we're going to go over here to the basketball reference page for the Magic. So this roster is still pretty solid, but the Desmond Bane trade hasn't come to fruition as they wanted, to the point where they wanted it to be. He's been playing pretty bad. He did hit like a game winner, right? But he's averaging 16 on 43% field goal percentage and 31% from the three, which is one of the lowest percentages of his whole entire career. 77% lower than his last lowest 3% point percentage. I still won't obviously leave him wide open when doing it, but as long as you're playing solid defense on him, he shouldn't really score much on us. Because even his 2-point percentage has gone down too. You can tell the only year that was lower than this percentage right now is right here in 21-22. So it hasn't definitely panned out the way they wanted it to. He's still been, I was gonna say he's balling out, but it's pretty non-efficient shooting though. So I wouldn't say balling out. This was a game that I would say he played good the last two games. It's been pretty volume shooter, and then these two games down here too have been volume shooter type games. Let's look at their starting. Actually, no, let's get team stats first. So they are the best at free throws in terms of getting to the line and making them, but they are middle of the pack in terms of the percentages, but that means they do get a lot of fouls. They're either first at the opposing team's personal fouls, so obviously trying to make sure you don't do stupid fouls, you don't get yourself into foul trouble, and allow them to get to the line is going to be important. But actually every other stat is really not that good. I mean, they block shots, but I think a good chunk of that was with Paulo on the floor, and they're like towards the bottom of the league in 3-point shooting still. Their opposing team, they are 7th ranked here in opposing points. Defensive rating is 9th, so they're around that 7th to 9th range. So they're pretty solid defensively, but again, it's they lost a lot of their players. With Paulo being out and Mo Wagner, I mean, he has been out for a while, and then potentially Jalen Suggs, that even their defense that they're so known for is gonna go down. So I would say we should have a better chance at winning this game. They are middle of the pack on pretty much every other stat that isn't blocks or rebounds, pretty much, and obviously free throws. Their rebounding is pretty good. So again, keeping a good eye on the glass and stuff is important, but we win on so many other factors, I feel like. I haven't really checked our team rankings. Like, honestly, there's a good chance that we're lower than them on a lot of stats, but still, I still feel like the fact that they aren't that good on a lot of their stats is still an indicator that we should have a good chance. They are ranking higher in terms of opposing stats, though, opposing team stats. Like, they're very good at defending the three, so it makes sense. Like, they're a good defensive team. They allowed the least amount of assists because, again, the opposing teams are not scoring as much, and they're good at limiting the paint here. 2-point percentage for opposing teams is 8th, which is pretty solid. So again, they're just a defensive team, but when you lose your defensive pieces in terms of Jalen Suggs, Mo Wagner, and I would say Paulo, because he's not like the best defensively, but still a big body. A lot of that element's probably gonna get lost. So yeah, just making sure we don't foul them, I think, is gonna be the most important part. They don't even allow that much. They don't make opposing teams turn over the ball that much because they're 20th in that. Let's look at the recent records here. So they did have a pretty close game against the Houston Rockets. Oh yeah, I remember this was the one where KD made that like dagger jumper. So I guess they're still a good team. I don't think they're a bad team still, but they still haven't won that many games that they probably would have liked to. So though they were just on a 3-game winning streak before that Rockets game. So their starting lineup is Anthony Black, Desmond Bane, and Franz Wagner, Tristan Da Silva, Wendell Carter Jr., and off the bench is all these guys. So Jalen Suggs was still out for that Rockets game, which, I mean, when you think about it like that, the fact that this roster, like these players, were able to get a close game with the fully healthy, essentially, Houston Rockets, like, that is pretty impressive. So, definitely not a team that you can take lightly, but still, like, you don't need to worry a whole ton. It's like, as long as you do your own, as long as you play your own game, you should be pretty solid. I don't know what else to talk about. I mean, oh yeah, right, X Factors. So I would say X Factor for today's game, probably gonna be, I'll say Moses, just because, he had his scorching hot, first quarter during the Pelicans game, and I think this game is going to be important in terms of, can he continue that? Obviously not the exact same thing, like not 7 threes and a quarter type scorching, but if he can still continue his relative, good shooting in this game, that's going to be important. And his defense is also always going to be crucial. And I think against the Magic, since they allow the least amount of 3 points and like 3-pointer percentage or whatever, can Moody get loose, because I think a lot of the focus is going to be on Steph, obviously. So can Moody and pretty much any of the other guys make their threes is going to be such a crucial component. But obviously Moody, with his hot streak, you can maybe bet on the fact that even with the Magic being good at defending the 3, that Moody is going to end up torching them, or he can torch them. So that's why I think it's going to be Moody. And yeah, let's see, any interesting stats. Yeah, I mean, Franz Wagner got to the line 13 times. Again, they're a pretty solid pretty good free throw shooting team. So definitely making sure we play solid defense, not take stupid fouls, is going to be super important. And yeah, I mean, I have a good feeling about this game. We're on a good streak. But if we win this game, we're going to probably we're going to be not better than the Timberwolves, but back on the same percentages, and maybe creep our way into the top 5 soon enough. So obviously continuing this win streak that we have right now is going to be super important, and also improve our road record, because right now we're 4-6 away. We haven't lost at home yet, so yeah, just making sure we get these away games is going to be important. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to tune in the game at 4 p.m. today at early start time, and I will see you guys in the next video.